So if you don't know by now, it's all over the news. LA is having those bad wildfires in LA County, and the mayor is getting flat because the county does not have enough water to put out these fires. And she was even out of the country. So a reporter caught her coming off the plane from Ghana, and he asked her a bunch of questions. And this is what she did. And this has gone viral because she did not respond the way people thought she would respond.
You owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning. Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Okay, so do you guys think that is disrespectful to the residents and to people that are trying to find out what she was doing, why she didn't respond a certain way? Do you think she should have responded to the media? I'm going to start with Slimmy.
Hell no, she want to keep her job. Hell no.
What you mean,
What
Slimmy?
that shit? Oh no, she gonna be under fire no matter what. She gonna be under fire no matter what.
Mhm.
If she would have said something, it would have been the wrong answer. I still think ultimately you have to say something, but at the same time, I wouldn't admit to anything that was negligent. That's what she wouldn't be able to admit to anything that was negligent, or she'd be under fire. So
Under fire
Right, but
is
he
crazy.
said he asked her, does she have anything to
oh
say?
man, I didn't mean to say that like that.
Under fire
Like-
is crazy.
Oh, come on, man.
What
Chill.
did you say? What did you say?
Chill 2K.
What'd you say, 2K?
Slimmy said she won't be under fire. And we talking about LA and fires.
Oh, I did not mean that. Let me go on mute.
We know you didn't mean it that way, Slimmy. Nobody took it that way.
Carrie, what's your thoughts? And being the fact that
think
also that she's a woman too, right? Because there's a whole lot going on with women in DEI out in California. So now you have her not doing what she's supposed to, her not wanting to answer and respond to the media, and the fact that she was out of the country and DEI hires. What's your thoughts?
I think she handled it well. I wouldn't have answered his questions either because it wasn't like he was genuinely asking to get information. He was asking in order to set her up for her to set herself up with her response, in my opinion. And she later did a press conference with all the rest of the people. So to me, she had enough time. By that time, she had enough time to get briefed on everything, to go over what she should say, what she shouldn't say, because they asked her similar questions in the press conference, and she had a very good answer. Like she had a very strategic answer to that same question. So I think she did the best thing, which was keep her mouth closed until she got to that press conference.
But so 2K, do you think that people always want to hear a structured answer from politicians, especially when like they're having a hard time or something just happened? Like, wouldn't it have been great if she had just said something?
No, because if Future said before I lie to you, I'll tell you nothing. So with that being said, like don't ambush me coming off a plane and then want me to like be professional. This right here, the informal meeting where you sticking these pipes, it's not professional. So I'm not gonna be professional. So I think she really did the right thing by just not talking to you. Because at the end of the day, she's not a firefighter. What her coming back gonna do?
She's the mayor.
She the mayor. She don't put out fires.
Yeah,
She
but
can make every
she's the
call,
manager of all of them.
but
She's the
she
manager. She's the manager over every department,
that's
every
all,
governmental department in that city.
and that's
Well,
all
she
she
didn't
can
start the
do.
fire either, though.
Yeah, all she can do is approve overtime, but she can do that from the phone. What y'all want her to step out? We thinking she Captain Planet or something like that? Like what we expect her to do?
So okay, so as much money as they pay in California,
Now that's
she couldn't off the cuff just come up with something to say, look, I haven't been briefed on everything. You know, my heart goes out to the, people that have lost everything now. And, I'm gonna get briefed later and see what I see. Like something. Because a lot of the time people just want comfort, especially when they're going through hard times like that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The remorse. There was no remorse factor.
He wasn't looking, that guy was not looking for comfort from her. He was looking to set her up.
But he's a
Bless you.
reporter, so whether he likes her or not, that's
Like-
that's his job.
Do y'all
Right?
remember when Trump went to Puerto Rico and he was throwing toilet paper in the crowd? Like y'all don't remember that when they had the bad tsunami and
Yeah,
Trump?
and they tried to say he was being disingenuous, like he didn't want to be there because he was throwing the
Yeah,
toilet paper.
so listen, I'd rather her do nothing than just say something. You know what I'm saying? It look like
But
she the flight.
sometimes they take silence as a response.
Well, I mean, you ain't gonna
That people gonna have to just deal with that till she talk.
yeah.
But wasn't she briefed before she took her trip to Ghana that
She had 20 hours on a plane, trust me. But go ahead, Molly.
no, I just didn't know. Was she briefed about the fires before she took her trip? Or did she know that there was a chance that they could get worse before she went? That's what I thought I heard, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
So from what I heard is that she was already out the country when it happened.
Yeah, I thought that she was there before the fires.
Okay.
It
I
don't
think
matter.
she should have said something though. She could have said no comment. She could have gave like a short and sweet.
She could have. Yeah.
You are
But what
responsible
would be
for
the
these
reason
citizens
why?
because she's you are a public servant. It is your duty. They
But all of
if
that
I'm
still
just a
remains
regular
true.
person living in LA and you are my mayor and I see that you're being questioned about why is my home burnt down? Why is my children's school burnt down? And you just sit there like a dummy.
No, she sat
That's not
on,
okay. Like
she
that
was at
wouldn't be
the
okay with
airport.
me.
She went straight to
I
a
don't
press.
care.
she
I
she
personally
went
would
to a
not care
press.
if that was my home burning
I'm
up on
quite sure
fire.
that the people whose homes were burning at that moment weren't focused on what her response was because their homes were burning down.
Okay.
But Steve, let me
But
tell
you
you what the
couldn't have
problem is.
managed things better before you went. You couldn't have made sure that things were in line because California is always dealing with wildfires. I've been in California when they've had wildfires. And then it's like you don't get any days off. You want to take this job in this major city, it's no days off. You serve your people.
She should have
And
said, "Are
you
you
are
okay?
in a whole
Well,
nother
no, that's
country on the other side of the
You
world.
okay?"
Well, see, let me tell you why it's so problematic. It's because she cut over $17 million from the fire department budget before the fires even started.
Right.
You got to answer for that.
Yes.
Like we
but she
could be,
addresses all of that in the press conference. Like that's
It's a
where
press
if it
conference though.
right, that's where the
You
press
I don't think
that's
she
where the
did though,
press
Carrie, because
goes
when
to ask the questions, and that's where you go to get everybody explaining what's going on. So she addressed that. People asked about the cut, the money being cut. They asked about all of that, and she had to answer those questions at the press conference. So it
yeah,
wasn't
but
like
where's the authenticity though? It would have been more authentic for me as a citizen of LA to hear you at least say something, answer at least one of the questions, show some remorse, do something. She sat there with a stone face.
what I just literally what I
That
just
is
said
so
when I made that up
inappropriate.
off the cuff. Like something. Like, okay, I don't know. But she knows. Like she knows. She's the mayor of one of the biggest cities and in one of the biggest states Like, what? Or
Yes.
the biggest state in the union. Like, she know. Like, she
Yeah,
know.
I think that if she hasn't understood, see, the one thing about the LA mayor is that she's been able to get away with a lot of stuff because there's been so many
Hmm.
other things that other mayors has been being held accountable for a long time, even through this election. She been doing a lot of egregious shit, and again, they cut $17 million from the fire department budget prior to this happening, which was dumb because we always know that there's going to be a huge need for resources when it comes to fires and wildfires over in California and Los Angeles. That's stupid, right? I understand what Carrie is saying and that she wants to address it in a formal way. However, I think that we live in a different era. We live in a social media era, and I think that you got to be on your toes and on point about how you communicating to people 100% of the time nowadays. Ain't no days off. Ain't no I can just do it formally. Nah, you got to keep people up to date, whether it be Twitter. Listen, even my
Yeah.
my daughter's principals keep us up to date on X via Twitter about different things that's happening in real time with the school, whether it be a school closure, whether it be a snow day. All of the parents go on X to find out, and the students go on X to find out what's being communicated before it ever even hits the news or anything like that. We live in a different time. And so for her to just sit there stone face, to me personally, it makes her look bad. It makes it look like she's trying to get it, you know what I'm saying, get the right thing to say because she know that she was wrong for cutting the budget, and they know that they got to be held accountable for some of the stuff that they did. And your inability to communicate authentically with the people doesn't give them any confidence on what's happening and how they need to
Yep.
be able to handle it. At the very least, she could have said, you know what, I think everybody need to evacuate immediately, whatever, so on and so forth. She didn't even say that.
Yes.
Well, if that all be the case, and I'm not defending her cutting budgets or anything like that, but if that all be the case of how she's been, then to me, that's even more the reason why she should stay quiet till she gets her butt back home,
Yeah.
finds out what should I say, what should I not say, because maybe she can't talk on the cuff like that. Maybe she would have said the wrong thing. So I think, consider all things considered, she kept it quiet, made it back home, and then she spoke. So if I were her PR person, or I were her chief of staff, or I were her legislative aide, or whatever the case may be, and I know her like that, I would be like, hey, don't say anything till you get back here.
But see, and I get what you're saying, Carrie. I don't think that a public servant needs a PR person.
I
That's
definitely.
my thing.
I
No,
disagree.
I
If
don't
anybody
think.
feels
Listen,
like
listen.
it's
I
them,
don't think that a mayor should have a PR person.
I think
What are
I
we, what are we doing?
I
What is
I
damage
I think
control
it
for?
depends
Yeah.
on what it I think it depends on where, right? So like my hometown, no. But you're the mayor of California,
yeah.
of
You
New
need a
York,
PR
like
person.
these bigger cities where there's all this stuff already happening. Yeah, I think you might need, especially if you don't have that skill on your own, you
And
might
you
need some
shouldn't be mayor.
guidance.
If you
Well,
don't have that skill,
Well,
then you shouldn't
you
be
ever
mayor.
watch Scandal before?
No.
Oh my. Well,
She was
you
a politician, right?
no, she
Or a
was a
lawyer?
cleanup. She was the cleanup lady. She wasn't the politician.
For a politician, well,
She
yeah, she's
wasn't
a
the
politician too.
president
But
of
like the president, this is the
the
mayor, though.
no, if you a mayor, that's yeah, you the
y'all
president
just
of
said
your
all
city.
of her duties, as y'all just made her job be this big by saying she's the mayor, she's the
But her,
mayor.
her job, her
So
job is that big because
no,
of
I'm just
where
saying
she's
now
at.
it seems like you're downplaying the role. Like, she's only the mayor. Why does she
No, no, no,
need
no, no.
that?
What I'm saying is, if you are a public servant, a PR person is a person that's there to make you look good. A PR person is not there to serve the general public. I think that we've gotten so far removed from how we're supposed to use taxpayer dollars, and that why should you need a PR person if you are a mayor of a city? What is it that you're trying to get PR that you're trying to mitigate?
You need a PR person because the minute you open your mouth, to your point about social media,
Hmm?
everybody is going to rip apart everything you say, especially in this political climate. Everybody is going to be ripping apart everything you say. So again, if you're the person who you can't speak on the cuff like that without accidentally putting your foot in your mouth or saying something and people taking it a different way, or maybe you just corrupt, I don't know, you might need a PR person to help guide you a little bit to make sure that you say the right things or say the things that you want to say the right way. That's all
I
I'm
don't.
saying.
I think that people.
You need a
They
PR
help
person.
more than just words. They help with your image and everything. So PR
Fuck
for a
that.
politician, that's a much needed thing, bro.
I
But-
think nope. I think that y'all dinosaurs.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think that. I know y'all dinosaurs because people listen. The reason that Trump won is not because he got a PR person. It's because he say what he really thinking.
Yes.
Nobody care. Listen, that is
And he
over.
answers a question.
Anybody that thinks that they can polish up an image, it's not real no more. People want authenticity. They can disagree with you. They may not even necessarily like you or care for you, but they want to know the truth. People want to know what's real. They don't care about your image no more. And the
Yep.
faster that some people realize that, the quicker they'll start to get to better results. Anybody that is thinking that they can get a PR team or a PR person to clean them up, I think that they're wrong. I think that they're wrong. People don't care about that no more. It's a different wave.
Yeah.
Listen, Elon Musk got rid of his whole, the whole team. Everybody that had anything to do with PR, questions, press releases, all of that stuff. He said, "No, we got X, we got Twitter."
But
Yeah,
see,
I think that went out with Obama. I think Obama was the last like polished politician.
People want authenticity. They want to know who you really are.
yeah, we got to be crazy. We think Obama the last polished politician. Okay,
What polished politician is winning?
Is winning?
Yeah, because right now so right now the look of authenticity is winning, right? What we're talking about.
Trump, listen, Trump is at a special time in America. Well, we need
Not just
that.
Trump, but politicians like Trump.
Not even. I know a bunch of fraudulent politicians, like the mayor of my city. He's one of them fake politicians who just say what you want to, but do the other thing, and he win every year. Like,
Well,
so,
I'm not okay. So I guess my
JD
thing is
Vance,
You said a
not
what?
no. JD Vance is no. JD Vance
JD
just
Vance,
knows what he's talking about.
JD Vance is very well polished.
No, he's not. He's just real. Listen,
He just
if
knows
you
what he's
looked at,
talking about.
listen, one of the things that that was the difference between the Kamala Harris campaign with Tim Walz and JD Vance, and one of the biggest criticisms, and you know this, 2K, even if you don't necessarily care for politics, is one of the biggest criticisms that Kamala Harris had is that they were trying to polish her image and prevent her from being able to take hard questions. They was trying to prep her too hard. It was limiting how amount of time that she could do interviews. Whereas Trump and JD Vance, not only was they willing to do a podcasts and interviews for as long as it took, they went into enemy territory and they didn't have no prescriptive questions regularly.
But they still got. You don't know that they didn't get prepped. They have press secretaries. They have communication strategists. They have all different types of. Yes, they do.
Listen,
yes, they do.
If you go and listen to a lot of these, after, I don't know how you label it, a lot of the people, because you know how they go back and they say, well, what really happened behind the scenes or whatever. If you listen to Joe Rogan, you listen to any of these people, they went in there eyes wide open with no script. They didn't say. Everybody that interviewed Trump and everybody that interviewed JD Vance, including Joe Rogan, said that they didn't say that it was nothing that you couldn't ask them.
But we're not saying that. I'm not saying that Trump went in with a script, but to say that he has no one talking to him about how he should position something or how he should say something, or yes, he does. He has a whole
Do you
team
know
of
how he
people.
ended up?
Now,
Do you know how he ended up on Joe Rogan?
Does he listen to them? Does he?
Do you know how he ended up on Joe Rogan, Carrie?
I
He
don't.
listened to his son.
His son Barron said, "Hey, you need to go do Joe Rogan." It wasn't no prepping. It wasn't no
Yeah.
PR
But
team.
that's not the.
No,
But
listen.
that's a different
His
point,
son,
Anton.
His son that's in high school said, "Yo, Dad, you need to go do Joe Rogan." And he sat there for 3 hours and he delayed a rally that he was supposed to go to in Michigan because they was having such a good conversation. And there was no preface of what Joe Rogan could ask him.
But that's not what we were talking about.
That is what we're talking about. We're talking
No,
about
we're not.
being
You're
able
saying
to
that
be
you shouldn't
prepped.
have.
Being able to be prepped for an interview. You can't prep for a podcast.
Nobody said prep for an interview. This guy caught her getting off of the plane. Like, that's not her walking into an interview saying, I can't say nothing until somebody preps me for this or for that. This is her. She's coming back home. Like, that's not the same thing. And just because Trump doesn't have a script doesn't mean he doesn't have people who are advising him on what he should and should not say. Now, whether he chooses to follow that, that's on Trump. And we know that Trump is the type of guy who's like, hey, you can tell me what you think I should say, and I'll take it into consideration, but I'm gonna say what I want. But it doesn't
That's
mean
why
that
we
he
like
does.
him, though.
But that's fine, Molly. But the point is, he has those people. That's my point. He has those people.
But he's
Listen.
still
But when you
authentic and
right.
relatable.
Nobody's
my
saying
point
she's
is that
authentic. I'm
I
not
don't.
arguing any of that. He said that Trump doesn't have those things. I'm
But when
saying
you're a
yes, he
politician, you
does.
should be
No,
able to answer
first
stuff
of
off the
all,
cuff.
we wasn't talking about
Yes.
Trump. We was talking about JD Vance. So we got to be careful.
You said Trump first.
Y'all mentioned JD Vance because
I didn't.
Mika was going back and forth with 2K. And 2K said, and Mika was talking about JD Vance. So that's
Yeah.
where I inserted myself into the conversation with the JD Vance part. I used Trump and JD Vance going into these interviews, and I said that one of the criticisms that they had against Kamala Harris was that she was already trying to be too polished because they were using PR people to try to determine what her image was going to be to the people, and we looked at her as inauthentic. I used JD Vance and Trump as an example of what it's like to actually endear yourself to the people by going into enemy territory or allowing for people to ask you questions because it makes it seem like you don't have anything to hide. That's why I mentioned JD Vance and Trump to justify how they're doing it compared to how they did it with Kamala Harris. And that it's an old dinosaurs mentality to think that you can polish your image and tell people how they should view you. You need to just be authentic with the people. That's how it played out.
If I'm giving you my tax dollars, you better keep it real. Don't sit there with no stone face. Answer something. My
Am I
house is
off?
burnt down.
You can't make a police talk back to you with your tax dollar.
Wait. Am I off?
She's
Is
the
that not what
mayor.
happened?
She's running the city. A police officer is just a police officer patrolling a community.